Okay, it's 2:00. We'll call this meeting to order. Item 2, do we have any public or committee comments?
I have, I guess, one question is, one question, how close are we to the consolidation efforts that we need to start actually addressing those at this meeting? Are we going to get in, are we going to do any ground, any real work this year besides phone calls and seriously, if we're not that close, then there's no point in having it on the agenda. What I was thinking is, if we were getting close.
No, the paperwork has not yet been submitted to the state for the funding, and that takes around 9 months to be processed.
Oh, okay, enough said, thank you.
So, yeah, that's Hometown and Dune 3. Dune 3 is closer to getting that submitted than Hometown is.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Item 3, Inyokerd Road transmission line repair update.
All right. No pun intended, but everything's kind of fluid right now. We're still working on determining the extent of the corrosion out there. We expect to get a proposal today from Far West Corrosion Control. They did promise it to us by this afternoon. So once we can get them scheduled, we can get out here and see if we can determine the extent of the corrosion. We think we've narrowed it down to about 1,800 or more or less feet of pipe, but we want to make sure there aren't other areas out there that are going to cause problems in the future. And we're also trying to determine whether we're going to go with replacing and repairing with CMLC, cement mortar line coated pipe, which is what's out there now, or if we do HDPE, which is cheaper.
Okay.
We're kind of leaning towards the HDPE because of the cost and because of the ability to get the pipe sooner. So we'll probably be just having another conversation with Krieger and Stewart tomorrow morning to kind of get a status of where everything is.
So are we thinking the soil had a higher pH in that area? Or
No, we're thinking it came from the outside in, probably due to some cracking in the coating of the pipe. Yeah.
All right.
Because the interior looks fine.
What's the lifetime of the two options?
Oh, each of them? Well, you expect to get at least 50 years out of these pipelines. Yeah, when they're originally put in. So that is if the steel doesn't corrode, which is the problem we had, so.
Well, that could have been from movement or anything. I mean, who
Yeah,
knows?
it's hard to tell,
Yeah.
which is one reason why we want to test all our other CMLC pipelines too.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're looking at the long term and that we don't go the cheap route and have a 15-year solution rather than a more expensive 30, 40-year
No,
solution.
HDPE is similar to PVC pipe as far as the lifespan of it. So you would expect to get at least 50, 60 years out of the pipe.
Oh,
And lining that 1,800 feet, what would the difference be there?
The problem with the lining is that we can't get it done soon enough. Yeah, it's too far out.
It also uses the pipe that's there as the
Yes.
outer.
As their guard.
Yes.
Correct. So if it had cracks, something could actually penetrate through from the outside there.
Also, one of the things, the reasons that we're leaning towards HDPE is that it may afford current staff to be able to fix any problems that arise in the future with equipment that we already have in-house.
Yeah.
Yeah, if not, we'd have to have irons and everything else for the HDP. Okay, correct. All right, thank you. Any other questions?
no, I'm good, thank you.
All right, item 4, well 31 rehab project update.
Just a short update here. The equipment's been ordered. Was ordered a few weeks ago, right before Christmas. And we were told 3 to 4 weeks to receive the equipment, and then Lane will mobilize again to do the install. So I expected the well to be up and running, available by the end of February. Whether we won't be able to run it into the pipeline in Inyokerd Road yet, but we expect it to be ready to go.
Okay.
Any questions? No?
All right, we'll go to item 5, booster station and tanks project.
All right, we'll move on. So at the Gateway Tank site, the Inlet outlet piping, the altitude valve vault, they've been installed. And they did the shutdown to tie in the current tank to the new piping on December 20th. Didn't have any issues. The booster station there, they did that piping across Javis and also the installation of the electrical conduit that SCE will be using, tie into. The building is up, they're doing the pouring, they did the pouring today of the slabs around the building and also for the transformer pad for Edison. Up at the C-Zone tank site, the coaters done the coating, they're doing the painting on the inside of the tank right now. And up at College, they did complete the retaining wall and the new inlet outlet piping. They did the connection with the shutdown out there last week while the college was shut down, and that went smoothly. So they're moving on to grading and prepping for putting in the ring wall. And that's where we're at.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 6. Arsenic treatment.
So Plant 2 is currently offline, but is in a standby mode should the emergency situation arise. Plant 1, we're still assessing how to remove the current under drain for reinstallation. It's welded plastic, and there is a fear that if we get in there, we may break it. So we're assessing how to do that, and if not, then we'll have to, I don't know, look for outside agencies to come in and actually replace it for us, but that's where we're at right now.
Any questions? Okay. Move to item 7, solar production report.
For December 2022, we had actual savings in phase 1 of $33,695, which came in about $130 less than the guarantee. So pretty close on that one. The one we've noticed is phase 2, or the well 35 site. We had savings of $669 versus the guarantee of $1,310. So they're gonna come out, NG's gonna come out and check it out and see what's going on there. Yeah, the inverter seems to be up and running, so there's a problem somewhere else, and they're gonna come identify it.
All right, thank you. Okay, item 8, future agenda items.
I am going to mention that the concrete structures bid package is due, I should have said this at the beginning of the meeting, it's due Thursday, and it'll go directly to the board.
Okay,
So it'll be on the board agenda.
all right. Any other future items? Okay, then we will adjourn the meeting at 2:08.
Good job, Chuck.